A wonderful GM. Exciting news as BMW M Driving Experience invited me to Munich to talk about their recent Web3 activities. The last and really big activation was their digital driver's license during the ApeFest, where people could mint a Soulbound token, so a non-transferable token that looks like a driver's license and is changing throughout different steps and is evolving. And for that, I talked to Pia Schörner, who's responsible for the driving experiences at BMW M, and Richard Petrich from Value of We. You may have seen him already during our Jägermeister podcast. So he is representing Value of We as an agency who's driving these things forward. And I got to learn a lot of the most important thing that I learned was actually the reasoning behind corporates like BMW putting so much resources and efforts into discovering these technologies and discovering how to approach the target group that is fascinated and working within these technologies. A lot of interesting nuggets and insights from Pia, and I highly recommend listening until the end, as every single part of it was, first of all, so much fun, and I think you can see it within our conversation, but also so valuable for everyone who's wondering what else there is in Web3 except for all the hype topics like Bitcoin is reaching 100K or AI agents, and really digging into the use cases that are working today that could be interesting for every industry working on in the future. So that's from my side. I'll see you on the other side. I want to start with Pia. If LinkedIn is right, you're working for BMW for over 17 years. Mm-hmm. This is really impressive. What excites you about your position and BMW in general?
Oh, that's a good starter question. I've started at BMW 7 years ago, right after my studies. And I just started directly into lifestyle and merchandising, something completely different I'm doing right now today. And just took my way through the company, because at BMW you can change your role every time when you find a new position which is maybe of interest for you. And it was just my way. I just stepped into motorsports, from motorsports into sim racing, from sim racing into esports, from esports into sports marketing at all. And then I did all these metaverse innovation things, and now I'm right here at BMW M heading the BMW M Driving Experience, which is also a great field of interest because there is a lot of space for new innovative stuff. And, there is so much potential at BMW to really work for a company like BMW to transform the brand over years, to bring new insights into the brand and to try new things. So there is always a mindset for being ahead, a mindset for new innovative things. So that's why I'm still here, still have my job, and still doing different kinds of opportunities which were given. So maybe it's on me, but I think BMW and me, we are just a good combination. And yes, that's the way I did here.
Mm-hmm. How is it to drive innovation in a corporate?
Oh, this is sometimes a bit challenging.
I love this question, yeah.
But to be honest, it's a great challenge, because if you're working for a company which is open to do new innovative things, you can just go your way if you constantly push, if you know what you're talking of. So I was always in the position to understand what could be the next big thing, what could be useful for the brand itself. And I always had some kind of good argumentation. It's a lot of inside marketing. So I need to go to every single person which was important for me to bring things forward and try to really explain what is it about. So what is the potential? So how far can we go with that? Mm-hmm. Often there was the question, how can I sell cars with it? And I always said, okay, maybe not yet, but maybe in future, because it's always about reaching new target groups, reaching new fields of interest. And this is something which drives me and which keeps me going in that company. But in the end, yes, it is a challenge. But I think BMW is the brand which is interested in going ahead, being ahead. So yes, but
it's funny that whenever we talk about innovation, I have Rich in the podcast. And for everyone who may have seen the episode together with Jägermeister, maybe people know you already. For the ones who don't, can you briefly introduce yourself and also what puts you together in the project with BMW?
Yes, very happy to. I founded the agency behind those projects, let's say. So back then we talked about Jägermeister, and now we're luckily talking about BMW M here. And as you know, we have launched a token project at ApeFest, which we're going to talk a little later about. But we are the agency ultimately who has developed all of the technical part behind and thought about also the storyline and these things.
Okay, you already said ApeFest. We will dive into the ApeFest just in a bit. But before we do, I think it's important for the audience also to understand, why is Web3 interesting for BMW? I think you need to answer that.
You know, this is the way to go. I always say this is the future of the internet. So we need to get used to Web3, to every application around Web3, even if it's the metaverse, it's VR, it's AR maybe, it's crypto, everything around it. So I think it's very important that BMW, as well as every other brand, gets used to it and starts at an early stage. So it's not about being fully into Web3, but get to know how it works and why it is important. Because, you know, audiences coming up right now, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they are totally digital. And if we do not know where we can find them, we will just miss the train. So this is why I think it's pretty important to use Web3 spaces, maybe just in a small way, which is totally okay, but don't miss the train. Try to understand and try to see where is your spot with your brand. For me, for BMW, it was gaming, it is the ApeFest and stuff like that. And I think, that's the reason why Web3 is important for us.
One question that I had in mind, which is not on the list, but perfect. What is Web3 to you? Is it only blockchain related things? Is it also, BMW also did something in Fortnite, which when people ask me, it's also part of Web3, but how do you see it?
For me, Web3 is like everything. So we're coming from Web 1, what was like internet, texting, stuff like that. Then we step into Web 2, which is right now internet of, of people, doing video calls and stuff like that. And Web 3 for me is the embodied internet, where I can meet as an avatar in a metaverse space, in the internet. So it's more to get more together in a digital way, I would say. So for me, everything which is digital is for me kind of Web3. So everything I told you before, like gaming spaces, gaming metaverses, brand metaverses, VR, and all that stuff like that for me is Web3. Web3 is the new internet. And already we're talking about sometimes Web4, which includes topics like AI. So it's everything we're going the way to be more digital in that world. So for me, it's like a big umbrella on all of these items.
Is this also the pitch that you do to other brands as well?
I would probably say that I'm rather pitching it in the Web4, let's say, style, because I think you're totally right that all these things come together, and call it Web3, call it Web4, call it the new internet, whatever you call it, but it's a fact. And I think also it's very interesting to have Pia and work with Pia, because you have this massive knowledge about metaverse, gaming, crypto technology or blockchain technologies and all of that. And what is a fact is that all these things come together at some point, and we see that these things merge more and more into each other, right? So, and therefore I think, I don't care how you want to name it, but it's a fact that the future consumer interacts with technology and with the digital much more than we used to, and therefore it's a relevant direction we are going. And when we talk about innovation, it's very, very important that companies like BMW M are ahead of that, and understand what's coming, because you said it, otherwise you're going to lose the train and lose your future consumer.
I think it will happen if you want or not. So it's the way we're going, and it's getting more and more and more and deeper, and it's always good to try things to get into it.
Do you think other automotive brands, if I'm just using that term, think like that as well? Or would you say, I mean, you're obviously biased, that BMW is very far in the forefront of these things?
I think we are. And it's because we already did that steps into gaming very early. We started with these esports corporation and then brought our first car into Fortnite, what was, I would say, a big bang for the automotive industry.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are a lot of automotive brands also stepping into spaces like this in a different way. So every brand has its own strategy how to step in. But I think we are like, I'm a bit proud on the way we did so far, because I think we were brave in stepping into Fortnite, which is literally a shooter game, which is not maybe the very, very perfect fit at the first sight. But when you go deeper, it's a strategy game. So this is something which is really important and interesting for us, because this is where the kids are. So if you do it in a natural way, you are right at the audience, which is important for you for the future to make a brand future proof. So yes, I think we are in a forerunner role, but I would say most automotive brands doing their steps into Web3 already.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with Fortnite is actually quite interesting. I just came from Frankfurt, and the boyfriend of my sister, he's the same age as I am, and he's also playing Fortnite, but he literally, and this is not because I've read it everywhere, is he's meeting his friends in this game, and they're like having these headphones on, they talk, it's exactly what everyone is telling you why brands are going into Fortnite. It's not because of the game itself, but rather the social impact as well, which is quite interesting. Were you involved in this project? Were you leading?
Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yes, I did both projects in Fortnite, yeah.
Okay, interesing.
Let's say you were involved.
Okay, I'm just double checking here, sorry. Before asking how was it, and then you're like, I was not involved.
I totally was. So it was under my how do you call it, lead? I don't know. So yes, I did those projects. Yeah, I was pushing hard to go into Fortnite, and I was even pushing harder to go deeper into this ego shooter space, because we know where the big audiences are.
Yeah.
To be honest, but this is something you can do step by step, which is okay.
And I just to quickly extend on that, I think that's also something BMW does really, really well, is to really go step by step and make it like small cases, like MVPs, so to speak, right? Test it. And we see the same with, I think you do that quite a lot, right? Same with our project. It was not a huge project. We did not waste tons of money and tons of things. We literally pragmatically said, okay, there is something, we want to do something here. We're going to talk about what it was, right? But let's play it and let's see how the community reacts to it. And in our case, it was a success, and the community interacted very, very much. And that's a good basis to then, think it a little bit bigger and do the next iteration. I think that's one of the key strategies to be successful in those innovative spaces, right? Yeah. Because it's very, very easy to fail. And we see that a lot.
Okay, it's a learning journey. So I think you need to give it a try and fail fast and learn and do it better next time. And I think it's always okay if you're doing it the right way. And this is what you said. We're just giving single options a chance and see how it works, and then see how we can do it bigger or just use it the other way. So yeah.
You created the bridge already. Let's talk about ApeFest. No. So I saw the videos, I saw the tweets, I saw your LinkedIn posts. I also saw photos and images of people from the community. So I've seen the Bored Ape Yacht Club, BMW, people driving around. I've seen the driver's license. I also have one. But for everyone who has no clue what we're always, what we have been talking about for the past, 10 minutes, what were you guys doing at the ApeFest? Like, guide us through the whole activation, and then I'll ask questions in between.
So maybe I start first before you can go into a deep dive in terms of the driver's license. So this was in cooperation with some of our colleagues, which are more into the event itself. And we created a customer journey for the Web3 Bored Ape community. to bring very naturally the brand into that community and to learn from the community. So our goal was to get more insights. What do they like? How do they work? And what is their personal interest? And for us, it was a great opportunity to really jump on this topic, bring a car into in a very natural way. And what we did with the driving experience to bring a new chapter into the Bored Ape Yacht Club by bringing the BMW M Mixed Reality, which is literally driving an M car by just seeing a virtual world, which is like totally crazy because when you do it, you totally trust the system. There's no motion sickness, nothing. You just drive the game with a strong car. And this is something which is like a merge between a real product and a virtual world and something what a Web3 community like the Bored Apes pretty much like. So for us, it was like learning from them. How do they think about that? What can we do more and better? And to even get more into that community, we decided to work with Value of We to see what we can just bring in, which is more Web3 related than a virtual reality. And this is why we invented the driver's license as a first step into, like a tokenized world, which is something of high interest for me because I think it's a kind of a loyalty thing when I'm thinking about how can I get more and more in contact with the people? How can I bring them back to me, to what I can offer? And that's what we did. Very successful.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to more dive into the driver's license and let us know what was the idea behind it.
My next question would have been, what can I do with that? What is it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, just to quickly also reiterate on the MMR, so the mixed reality experience, I can say this is really the end game of phygital, right? Because you're really driving a real car with G-forces, and it's not sim racing.
But quick question in between. It's not like you only can do this on a specific court. Like, I mean, obviously you're not allowed to drive in.
You can do it everywhere, but it needs to be gated.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So like a parking place or something like that, or racetrack. I think you have an own racetrack here, kind of, no? Yeah.
We have, well, but we can do it everywhere. If we have like a gated space, area, however you want to call it, we can do that. It's just kind of a mapping, and then you can drive.
And the cool thing why I'm touching on that is because it really it's a mind-blowing experience. I can tell you that. Like everyone,
you told me this in person before.
Yeah, it's really like no, really, it's mind-blowing because you sit in this massive race car. It's I think M4, M2. You do it right, like
whatever you want. We had an M5 and an M2 in Lisbon.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you drive a real car with real acceleration, with real G-forces, but you see a virtual world. And in this case, it was a custom world around the Bored Ape scheme, so to speak. Yeah? And why I find that so interesting is because it is so attractive for this specific community because these people live digitally, right? So when you bridge physical and digital with such a thing, you have an amazing product. And it worked so well. Yeah, everyone, I mean, I haven't seen everyone, but the people that I saw, the people that I saw, they couldn't stop smiling. Yeah. And this is so cool to see because and we touched on the topic of innovation. This is really innovative, right? So, and as far as I'm aware, you are even having this as an own product and offering that to your clients, right? So now going back to the driver's license, that was kind of the hook because we thought ultimately, to be fair, and Pia, please jump in if I'm wrong here, but I think what we really wanted to do is to authentically connect to this audience and understand them better and give them something they really want, and have fun. It's not about the aim was not to, I don't know, make money with that or stuff like that. It's really to bring them something cool, authentic. So we were thinking, okay, what can we do? BMW M, we are having the mixed reality track. We are driving. Driver's license would be cool. So the end idea was basically a Soulbound token, an evolutive Soulbound token, where you could get the base license, and through the activities on ground of BMW M, you could earn badges and design updates. Yeah, so depending on what you're doing, the license has changed. Yeah, so for example, if you were driving the mixed reality experience, your driver's license evolved into a racer license or a racing license. Yeah. And we had for example, we had an AI mirror there.
Which was pretty cool.
What is the
I show
inside
you the
joke that I
picture
don't
later.
understand?
That's a longer story, but we had an AI mirror there, we can say. And when you did a picture with that AI mirror, you got an ice update because the topic here was an ice racing experience, exactly. And so you could evolve the design even further. And now the question is, okay, but why? Yeah, that's a good question. There is no specific reason to say, okay, you get another upgrade to this or that. It's not a membership in this case. It's fun. And it's fun for the community. These people that own Bored Ape Yacht, also like apes, they love to collect. So we give them something to collect. And they were coming to us and going crazy. Okay, where do I get this badge? Where do I get that? And for BMW and us, it was so interesting because all of a sudden we saw, okay, who is attending what, who is doing what, yeah. And that was quite interesting, I guess, for us to see that people are enjoying it, but also giving us interesting insights on, okay, what is going well, what is not going well, and a way to communicate with them ultimately.
And you did this on the ApeChain?
Yes.
Question mark. Why are you laughing? Am I not supposed to
Why-
cut this out?
No. Why I'm laughing is because we built it on Curtis, which was the test network, because by fact, the weekend we activated the driver's license on that Saturday, ApeChain was just announced and launched. So officially,
okay. Yeah, I got it.
Officially, we built it on the test net, and then when later on we minted then on ApeChain. So we are one of the BMW is by fact the first brand, I think, to activate on ApeChain.
Yes.
And we are 100% one of the first projects because we launched it 2 days later. You got your token in your wallet based on ApeChain. So it was a very interesting project because we developed on a technology that up until then didn't officially exist and no one officially knew when it's going to be launched. Which was kind of interesting, let's say. And that's why I needed to laugh. But yeah, we did it, and then we launched it on ApeChain, and the community pickup was massive. They literally freaked out that there's such a cool project now on ApeChain available. So it was a win-win for all sides, I would say.
Yeah, it just can underline that. So that's what the way we wanted to go to something very new and different, unseen maybe, especially for our industry. And it worked out. It was just like talking to them, learning from them, and I said you before. Exactly. And it was a cool case and still working on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think now we have like a channel between, but it's a good one. So some of them told me, so how can we be involved? So this is an interesting case. So maybe we can just chip in some creative ideas for
typical
the mixed
Web3 stuff.
But why not? Why not? Because let them tell me what could be a cool way to interact more. And it's just about being together, being part of the community. And this is the way it worked out because we gave them something they pretty much like.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's also one of the things that we always try to be very authentic, right? Because it doesn't work to not really work with the community and listen to them. Yeah, when you're not listening to them, it's gonna backfire at some point. And I think this is what we are kind of both sides doing pretty well because we're not trying to put something on top of you. We're trying to authentically find something you really like and crave for.
Why did you decide to choose a Soulbound token for that? And maybe try to explain it in like one easy sentence for everyone who maybe not know what a Soulbound token is. I know, but
No, I mean basically it's a token that you cannot trade, right? So it's bound to your soul, and the use case for Soulbound tokens is all kinds of certificates, things that are personal to you, right? And in this case, again, it was a fun activation. We thought, it would be fun it's a license, a driver's license, so that's the topic for a Soulbound token. You cannot trade your driver's license in the real world, right? Exactly. So and therefore we used for the topic a Soulbound token.
And to understand, you choose the Bored Ape Yacht Club community because it was the largest one, the ones who maybe are the most loyal ones. I don't know. What was the exact reason for that?
That's a good question. We just started to figure out which community could be perfect for us as a brand, which could fit very good, which community is doing what. And we saw a good fit with the Bored Apes because it was, first of all, it was a good cooperation. So you always need a good cooperation partner, and they were interested in a cooperation working with us. It was like a very good brand fit. And furthermore, they also opened their other side metaverse, which is also of interest for us. So there were different kinds of areas which are also interesting for BMW. So the match was the, for us, most perfect one. And this is why we have chosen Bored Apes, Bored Ape Yacht Club. And I'm still happy with them because it is a good cooperation. It was great to be the first brand on ApeChain, to be honest. Yeah. And I think, hopefully more to come.
So you were like actively working together with I don't know who, like not founding team, but
Yuga Labs, like
Yuga
the
Labs, okay.
management Yuga Labs.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
okay. That's really
And
cool.
by the way, when you say it's a cooperation, really, when we were in the every time when the project comes to an end, it's getting a little bit pressure, right? But all sides were so productive and trying to solve all the things, right? Like whether that's Yuga Labs, whether that's at BMW. I mean, we were pushing quite some things through, right? Together. And it was really amazing to see that everyone comes together and was, how to say, I don't know if you can, Mira can say that, but burning for the project, right? Everyone really wanted to make this project happen. And that was really, really cool to see that all the parties are aligned and fighting for it.
I think in the end it was win-win because we had the chance to get connected to a very special community. And the community or Yuga Lab had the chance to bring new topics into the community, like the mixed reality and stuff we did. And I think that was the reason why it worked so well.
Yeah.
And so we had the ApeFest, which was an on-site event. I mean, I obviously was also able, I think, because I don't know if it's official that everyone can just claim the driver's license, but I think you just sent it to me. But what's happening after this physical on-site event? Like, what's next for this whole project? Will there be more of that exact things throughout other events, or what do you have in mind for the future? Or was it just one time and now we're figuring out what to do next?
No. So we're still on the cooperation with Yuga Labs, and we're just talking with them onto maybe a next topic we can do together, which is still under construction or confidential, however you want to call it.
Tell me about
but
it.
more to come.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, in terms of the driver's license, this is not a one-off topic. It was like a start, like a pilot project. It worked out. And now we are already discussing how we can make it bigger. So for us, it's a communication channel to the community at the one end. And on the other end, I think this is like a startup project to do more in future and see how we can use it to really bring more innovative things into that community or into further communities.
May I ask, did you, before you were going into this project, decided on what success might look like for you? So I don't know. I mean, this is always probably confidential. You have to say it, but were you having specific goals? And if these were hit, you go further, or you know what I mean?
You know, with all the innovative projects, there's never, ever a special KPI, because I won't tell you afterwards, oh, I've sold 10 cars with that. Never, ever.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, it's a lot about sentiment. Yeah. If there is a feedback like cool brand or cool innovative idea or mind-blowing project, this is something when I could say, okay, it worked, because it's more to get into that space. It's not at the first thing, it's not on selling cars. Maybe later, it's more to get connected to them, that they have BMW as brand in their mind when it maybe comes to having an own car later on or whatever. So for me, the goal is always to get a good sentiment, to get the feeling, okay, that worked out. We were authentically in an area where we did not enter before. And this is always my drive when it comes to gaming, Web3 or metaverse. And this is...
I think I would 100% agree with the sentiment because, and that also kind of connects to this MVP thinking here, kind of, yeah, because start with a small project, look if it works out and people pick it up. And with this project, we have, I think we can tell the numbers, right? We have, I think, roughly 1,700 tokens minted on ApeChain.
Which is still was this all live on site, except for mine?
Yeah, except of yours, yeah. You're gonna get a special design upgrade as well at some point, yeah. Yeah, but to be fair, during I think 4 days, so from announcement to end of ApeFest, you could claim your driver's license. Yeah,
but still, it's a lot. I would still say it's a lot because it's similar to when you give out like free stuff throughout an event or whatever. 1,700 people who play or interact with something I would say it's still a very good number.
Yeah.
Yes, we think so too, because when you compare it with how big the community is, to be honest, and how many attendees were on site at ApeFest. So for us, it's a big success.
Yeah.
When we're talking in numbers, it's a big success.
Yeah. And I would agree. And just quickly on the sentiment thing, which was super interesting, we never asked them to post anything, but people went so crazy on it and posted all the driver's license with their, because the cool thing is it's also a dynamic driver's. So you had this evolutive aspect of things, but you could also upload your photo and you put in your name, you did it, right? Yeah. So people wanted to show that as well, yeah, as the crypto community does, or the Web3 community does, right? Yeah. And the cool thing was that they really engaged by nature. Yeah?
Of course, it's also some kind of validation, I think, for everyone in the Web3 space, because we were all always happy when brands were entering the space. This would give the community who's believing in a tech that is still very far in the future to become mainstream, as, for example, the internet is. And whenever there's a brand, we would always see, first of all, they hear us, they see the technology, and they want to interact and engage with us. Like I'm putting myself on the Bored Ape side, even though I don't have one. But not yet. But I think this is also what people really like. Like for me, I can imagine that there's like now a connection for everyone who minted this token, who was in the car, who saw you guys 4 days straight on the ApeFest, that BMW, these are the cool people that like see us, belong to us somehow.
Yes, and we gave something to them which is of interest. We don't went there and say, hey, this is our new car, I want to buy it. It can do that and this, and it's quick and whatever you want. So it's more about interaction. So this is, I think, not a space where you can bring directly a product in to sell the product. It's more about really get used to the brand.
Yeah. And we literally had people writing on X. I never considered BMW as a automotive brand for myself, but now I want one. Yeah, and also on ground, people were really like really attracted by the brand, which was really cool to see that this worked out. Yeah, it's brand love ultimately, right?
Okay, so coming to the end of this podcast, you already gave a sneak peek on. I mean, you're not allowed to tell us what's next, but anything that, to sum it up, learnings, things that you're looking back to, or things that you want to share with the community in regards to the next steps of what BMW is doing in Web3?
I think that's what I already said. So we need to be or stay on that running train, if I try to explain it like this. And I just can emphasize that it's important to give it a try, to get used to it, and to see if there is like single options or little options, to give it a try and to understand and to learn which spaces are available and which could fit the brand. For me, for BMW, it's important always to seek for new ideas and spaces and see how I can implement it into my topic, how it could fit the topic, and how to, be on time or up to date what I'm doing. So this is not like the perfect answer, but I think it's always good to see what's going on, what is the trend, what is in terms of digitalization, how can we bring the product, the brand into it in a very natural and authentic way, and how can we learn from new target groups, and what do they want from us, what is their expectation, and how can we meet their expectations.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you also want to say something, or are you like, okay, that was
That was a perfect answer.
Push,
yeah,
push.
yeah, true.
But I think, or I guess, really looking into the future, it's interesting to think about like how can we build on what we have now created, and to be fair, the project that we did was a very, like, let's say, complex topic. It's an SBT on a technology that didn't officially exist to that date. So that was already like relatively hardcore tech, let's say. But I think what is one of the things that we're going to explore, how do you then reach a not so hardcore audience? Yeah, because the apes are a hardcore Web3 audience, right? Like these are really into the industry. But how do we then can build a block on top of that, saying, okay, the people that maybe invest into crypto through Trade Republic, yeah, that don't have a MetaMask and they don't know how to create wallets and do all of that. How can we also reach those people? So the intent, they have an intent, but they're not fully hardcore. Yeah? And then building on that, how can we then reach the people that are not at all Web3, yeah, with Web3? So I think making it more and more hybrid and more authentically really use the benefits of the technology and not the buzzword of Web3. Yeah?
I mean, you made it clear. I mean, you gave away a Soulbound token, so people don't have I have something that I can sell now immediately. So it's actually a very good way to start a long-term relationship and build up on top of that.
Yeah.
It was cool. Then thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. And thank you for inviting me to Munich.
It was fun.
And I wish you a wonderful rest of the day.
You too. Thank you so much for having us.